Yeah. Um, so I have an idea of they, and I want to pose it to you, and you tell me what you think. I think one of the theys is communist China. And the reason why I think they're one of the theys is because I saw the Mao brand of Marxism being piped into North American culture around 2010. I've read extensively about history. That's most of my reading. And what I think they did was I think they slowly introduced a cultural revolution. I think the people behind everything we're seeing, they went on the Mao, they used the Mao model, but they understood that Mao's model was backward. And that's why it didn't work completely. Mao did his great leap forward first and then introduced his cultural revolution. But by that time, so many people were starving to death or dead that the general public consciousness was too weak to really accept the brainwashing.
Mm.
So what I think they did was they switched the order. They introduced our cultural revolution first, and now as we're seeing, a great leap forward is slowly being introduced under the cover of climate change. That's just my hypothesis and my idea. But it too closely resembles Maoism to ignore.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't think that's entirely crazy. I'll just give you an example of this. The idea of social distancing. 2 days ago, Fauci was dragged for a subcommittee at the House of Representatives and asked about where this idea of 6 feet of distance came from. And he said, well, I don't really know. It just kind of appeared. Oh, okay, great. Anthony Fauci. And Redfield said that they were just discussing it on our elevator and somebody suggested it and it kind of stuck. Okay. Um, and I had written about the history of social distancing according to an account I read in the New York Times, which has become very mainstream, which was that it came about in 2005 with a paper by a scientist at Sandia National Laboratory who got the idea from his daughter, who was afraid of cooties, and he wrote up a model how you can stop an infectious disease by having everybody stand apart. And that's what in my book, Liberty Lockdown, that's what it says. But my friend and writer for Brownstone, Michael Sanger, went one step further and discovered that this exact model for disease control was deployed by the CCP.